looked at your exhibit number 9, Miss Smith, which are the school records. And what stood out to me in looking at the school records, and I'm particularly looking at, looks like a cumulative record from kindergarten through 6th grade. And I will note that she has always been a good student, which would indicate that she has had academic support at home. I will note that she has minimal absences from school from 2001 through 2000 and up until Alexander Graham, up until 2017. I will note that for the 2015 through 2016 school year, she was at 3 different schools. That was roughly the time period that other testimony in this hearing today is indicated where you were lost your home and was dealing with housing instability. And while she was at 3 different schools that year, again, her absences were minimal. And looking at the grades for that school year, that is a period of time in which she had some grades in the 70s, and looks like all other time periods she's mainly been in the A-B range. But despite your housing instability during that time, you consistently got her to school. And so this is proceeding today is not shown that you are unfit. And in fact, you have, I agree, the evidence seems to show that you've done, all that you can with what you had to work with to try to provide for Ryan. And so it would appear that you've been a good mother, and you've attempted to provide. The record today also shows, though, that there have, although I didn't receive specific incidents of, that there have been numerous incidents of DSS involvement in the past. And that from an emotional or mental standpoint, that Ryan had been declining in this past few years in your care. The evidence also shows that when that, I guess, the housing instability started in 2015, that it has continued to remain a problem even up until today. And even up until the last hearing, the temporary hearing earlier this year, where I put Ryan in the care of her father, that was because after a lot of fighting and lengthy hearing before this court, I enforced the order for her to come back and live with you. But then when we were in court earlier this year, I found out that she wasn't in fact living with you. She was living with your father. And so if I got to choose, I got mother and father. Those are number one, not grandparents. And if I got to choose between a mother and father, and they both fit, if one parent can't do, it doesn't become grandparent job. No, it's the other parent job. And so when the evidence showed that your housing instability was still going on, and she wasn't living with you, there was no reason for me not to put her in the care of the other parent, her father, who had stable housing and a good environment which to provide for her. That's what I did earlier this year, despite what CFCR recommended, because, like I said, mother and father, they're number one. No one is above the others. Mother and father, they're equal. And if one can't do it, I'm always going to go to the other. Grandparents don't factor in unless both parents are not able.